All right, so I'm here at Synergy Systems. I am, if you remember Remix, you remember that there was a session on Deepzoom that got rave reviews and applaud from everyone. I am with the very man that made that bee, Jose Fajardo. Do you want to say hello?
Hi guys, Jose from Synergy Systems.
That's the one, dude.
Yes.
Your Remix demo rocked everyone's world.
Oh, thanks.
Do you mind giving it to us again?
Let's do it.
In like compressed format?
Very, very quick.
Yeah, so it was all about Deepzoom, yeah?
All about Deepzoom.
All right, rock our world.
All right, so there's 3 samples and an intro. So the intro just shows how you get a Deepzoom image created, and it uses a Deepzoom Composer tool. This Deepzoom Composer tool is free, so just do a Deepzoom Composer tool search on live search, and it sits on top of an API, so you can actually automate the creation of an image to a Deepzoom image.
Cool, so you could point it to a whole bunch of JPEGs and say, go make a Deepzoom catalog out of this.
Correct, yes.
Right.
So once you know that, then we go into the samples. So the first one I asked, what if all the images on the web were deep zoomable? And I took my favorite news site, which is a popular one in Australia.
Ooh.
And I made it deep zoomable. So as you can see, as you scroll down, the deep zoom images, the ones that I converted, load. So it's very optimized. It only loads.
Are they loading when they need to load, or are they?
Yes.
Okay.
They're only loading as upon use, upon need.
Did you do that? Or is that something automatic?
That's something automatic, believe it or not.
Okay.
It's on focus. It starts downloading the images.
Oh,
amazing. Yeah.
That's nice.
Okay, so then what I saw from this sample is that is there an added benefit, or is there a greater experience to be had? You can fit more pictures in here. You tell me. So I think this is in going. You can, the more pixels that you had, the further you can zoom in. It just adds to the story.
Totally.
So,
and could you interpose ads in those images?
you can absolutely.
Can you tell when an ad's been viewed? So, like right now, whatever's on the right-hand side of our screen inside of that frame,
Yep.
yeah, it's not being seen, right?
Correct, yeah.
Is there like an event that happens when it gets focused on the screen?
Yes. So everything on here, if it's set up as a sub view, it triggers an event that you can then plug into analytics
awesome.
somewhere. Yep.
All right, so you know exactly what people are looking at when they're looking at it. It's not
Yes.
just one big canvas.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, is there an example of, say, that deep zoom image? Could that be an ad itself?
Yeah, it can.
Oh,
This one here.
would this be an example?
This is a D&G. This is part of, as you can see, this is all you see, but this is actually part of a bigger campaign, and that could actually, and seeing all these things, an end user seeing all these things, being able to zoom this far, could mean the difference between them buying something and just skimming through it.
That's awesome. So if you're zooming in, and say you zoom in, I don't know, at whatever that is, right? That belt.
Yep.
Could you have overlays and videos that show, and even shopping carts and everything?
Absolutely. This isn't just a deep zoom canvas. This is a Silverlight canvas, so you can actually throw in anything that you can build in Silverlight. So you can throw in a full shopping cart.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's powerful and it's very optimized. It's very quick. This is about 20k, 30k actually.
Right, because it's only bringing down what you need when it needs, right?
Exactly.
Cool.
So another thing in here is this space that you're given to show stuff in. It's very limited, right? So there's actually a feature called the HTML JavaScript bridge, which lets you say get a hold of the container, get a hold of the HTML object that contains it, and grow it. So now you have a bigger surface area to do your deep zooming in.
Wow.
Right? So you're not think outside the square, literally. You've got so much more area to work in other than what's given to you. Think beyond just the constraints of the page.
And you can also measure that as well, right? So if a customer or a visitor or a user goes and clicks and enlarges a box, that's an event that that very specific. It's the next best thing, right?
Yeah.
The next best thing to tracking their eyeballs and where they're looking.
Yeah.
You can track their interactions.
Exactly. Even on the mouse over, you can expand it.
Nice.
Okay, so that's about it for the web page. I think that's definitely an elevated experience. And the next sample, basically, this was me asking what if all the images on the web were deep zoomable. This one here, Full Control, asks what if all the documents on the web were deep zoomable. So I took a common pattern where a document, in this case, I asked the question, what if documents were deep zoomable? And I can automatically convert a document to a deep zoom image, and you had this added ability to be able to preview the document without actually going to those ugly third-party controls.
Right, so nothing loaded additionally, right? So you had this Silverlight control there, and when you clicked on the document, it wasn't going to launch an ActiveX control or a third-party app or anything, right? It was going to stay within the context of Silverlight.
Exactly, and you have full skinning.
Which is why it performs so nice, right?
It's beautiful performance, and you can skin it any way you want. So in this case, it's skinned to the bank's colours, whereas before, it would be opening up into this third-party jarring. It'd be a jarring effect, literally.
Right.
Full control. So that's me.
So can you zoom into some of that?
Yeah, actually. if you were able to see that.
So it's using the magic of software. It's using the magic of Silverlight Deepzoom to bring in the high fidelity text and everything.
Absolutely, yeah. So this is Deepzoom for documents.
Okay, that's awesome.
All right, so the last sample is based on on the Worldwide Telescope. So the concept is collaborating on high-res images. So two people on either side of the world, a teacher and a student, collaborating over a very, very high definition image. The collaboration is done using another feature in Silverlight 2 called sockets. So basically there's a socket server that's running in the background, which it's very quick to build. I actually found the logic on the web, and you just you start up one browser instance, which is one teacher on one side of the world, and you open up another instance of a participant. In this case, it's going to be a student on in the other side of the world, and I'll open up another one, and another student on another part of the world.
Okay, so let me get this right. On the left-hand side here, so if you type something into there,
guys.
Oh wow! So it's going from the left-hand side, which is the teacher, through the socket server, into a label on the student side.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and they're both. So those two guys are listening to the socket server, and that's posting to the. Okay.
Exactly. Yes, that's right. And then all of a sudden, they're going to start collaborating on a Deepzoom image. And can you imagine two doctors on either side of the world? And only Deepzoom will do this X-ray justice, because this is the difference between seeing this lesion versus just seeing a bunch of pixels.
Right, and what you're doing is so you're telling the socket server where you are, and the other one's polling the socket server and asking. It's not even polling, actually.
No, it's not polling. It's pushing. The socket server is pushing the ones and zeros, or the coordinates to each of these of where my mouse is in here. So this is it's as optimized as you can get.
And you know what just occurred to me? What you're doing in normally when you do a collaborative kind of thing like this, like in a net meeting or a screen sharing scenario, you are sharing one screen, so you're all looking at the same resources, trying to pull them off the same place. What you're doing here, so each one of these is independently, right? So when you go and fetch some JPEG or some data, it's getting it from the web and getting only what it needs from the web, and so is that independently, and so is that independently.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's very cool, dude.
Yeah, exactly. So this is another one. And,
could you have integrated things like Live Messenger and stuff into this?
Absolutely, and this would have been perfect if rather than me build my own chatting engine, I would have leveraged live service, live SDK. And if I had more time, I would. But yeah, so that. But
you kind of set out to do it in like limited time, right?
Exactly. I said I only spent 30 minutes on each one just to prove that the tools were up to scratch, and you were able to. Basically, the tools are amazing. You can prototype anything in under 30 minutes, in my opinion. But that's maybe being.
But you're a superstar, and you've been doing this for a little while. Right.
I'm not a superstar, but yeah, everyone's a superstar.
Can't you see the cape in the back? Dude, that is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, Michael.
The stuff you did at Remix with us again. So if I wanted to keep in touch with Jose Fajardo and wanted to read his blog and join his fan club, how would I do such a thing?
You would go to synergysystems.com, www.synergysystems.com, and on the homepage there's a blogs area, and I'm one of the bloggers on that.
Okay, and you're going to share this stuff, or at least some of your learnings around it?
Yes, once I work out details with my company, we'll get the code out there.
Very cool. Jose Fajardo, thank you, dude.
Okay, thanks, mate.
All right.